Are we good? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We're gonna call to order the Overy County Solid Waste Authority regular meeting, Tuesday, August 20, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. We're starting here this afternoon, so I'll do the implication, so we could have a moment, please. Father, we just want to take this time to thank you for all that you have done and with all that you continue to do. We ask that you ask a blessing on the staff and the board as we go and deliver these meetings this afternoon to try to make the best decision for our citizens of Overy County. These and all other blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Jones, if you would lead us in the pledge.
Please stand, face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I need to get an approval of the agenda, please.
So
Move.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and the motion has been carried. Also need to get the approval of the minutes of the July 23rd regular meeting.
Second.
Excuse me, been properly second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. We have no request for public input, so we will move directly to the department reports, recycling and corporate affairs. Mr. Murphy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The report begins on page 11. We'll begin with an update on the solid waste recycling grant. This year, the board did approve this year's budget money to continue our solid waste grant process. We did send out notification to those listed in your board packet, every municipality, the school district, colleges. We also sent it out to other agencies. We advertised it in several newspapers. It's been on public education and information channels. Since August, we did receive, it's noted in your packet that we received 2 applications, one from the city of North Myrtle Beach and the other from Smart Recycling. We did receive a 3rd application from Curbside Compost and Recycling. It's another food waste composting company that's doing business in the county. They also have submitted an application for a grant. So we're in the process of reviewing those, and hopefully we'll be bringing something to you, to the committee for their consideration. Next, want to give you an update on our 2019-2020 Talking Trash program. During the month of August, we did receive proposals for this upcoming school year. Our proposal evaluation team consisted of Victoria Johnson, Kendra Hooks, Cindy Keith, Jed Benning, and myself. We had 2 proposals to come in this year, which is low. I did talk to a couple of other stations who just couldn't seem to get their numbers to work the way they wanted them to, so, which was fine. The 2 we got in were very good proposals, thankfully. But we did select WMBF in conjunction with MIM Media as our partners for this school year. They came in with an outstanding proposal. And I always tell people what usually gets us is not those things we're looking for in your proposal. We're looking for advertising. We're looking for certain things. You've got certain criteria you have to meet. It's usually the things that we never thought about that's in there that says that's going to take it to the next level. So we're all excited. We met with them last week to work out our kickoff particulars, and hopefully the next month, September, you should be seeing some advertising on WMBF for our Talking Trash campaign. see, next we have, a wonderful picture of our, some of our award recipients from this year's environmental banquet. Thank you to all of you who took the time to come out and celebrate the, Horry County Schools, staff, teachers, administrators.
Your staff did a fantastic job.
Great.
It's always good to, we like to do this because they're working so hard to make sure the programs that we're offering are working in the schools. And teaching the children these programs, who then take these programs home and teach everybody else. So it's, for us, it's the least we can do for the efforts they're making and continuing our programs. But it was a good program, very good program. Clock ring handed for the month of July, Mr. Jason Medeiros. That's how I'm saying it, that's my version. At
He's not here, you won't.
He don't know, I guess. He got a nice prize pack, I guess it's okay if I messed up his name a little bit. At our Carolina Forest Recycling Center, again, a very grateful recipient to be recognized for his efforts in recycling and protecting the environment. The last item I have that I just want to bring to your attention, at each of your place settings, you had a lovely recycling bag. This is our latest promotional item that we purchased. We've seen these at various events, at various counties, things of that nature. And wanted to do one for Horry County that kind of, on your bag should be your information for everything you need to know when you go to a recycling center specifically. Not only does it give you a good picture view of what can be recycled, it gives you the list of those things that can be recycled. The inside panel, it tells you do's and don'ts for recycling. And of course, we always have to have our contact information on whatever we're giving out. As I said, we're targeting those who are in unincorporated Horry County. If you're in a municipal program, you have a recycling bin or a recycling roll cart that's been issued by your particular city. However, county residents don't have that luxury. So we have a couple events planned for the centers later this fall. We're not going in this summer. We're going to wait till the fall around America's Recycles Day, and we'll be out thanking people and encouraging people to continue their efforts. So please use your bag. Oh, and the best part, at the bottom of the bag, when you go to the center, there's a handle, so you can shake out your side. Isn't that exciting? I'm just so excited.
Do you have enough to take to the art gallery tomorrow?
I'm sorry.
Do you have enough to take to the art gallery?
I'm not going there, but I can give you a good example. I can surely do that. Any questions? Thank you.
One question, how many grants did we give out last year?
Last year, if I'm remembering correctly, it was 6, I believe, 5 or 6.
And we can do how many, 15?
We have $150,000 in the budget, so we can do 15 if we granted them all a $10,000 grant.
Okay.
And some of them didn't finish their,
Yeah, that was
what they promised, so they
right,
didn't.
because Ana was one, did they ever finish what they had started to do?
No, my last conversation with Mr. John and Ainer was right before the end of our grant cycle last fiscal year, and they did not get their information in time to develop their program in Ainer. So his goal was to try again this year. We haven't heard anything yet from him as far as an application, but that's not to say that they're not working on things that they had to do before they were even eligible for the grant.
Does, when you say you awarded 6, we
I
had,
believe it was 6.
right. How about the money, does it roll over into the next year,
No,
or
sir.
We'll have to reapply.
We start fresh.
We have to
New year,
restart.
new money.
new year, new money?
The 2 proposals you have from the TV stations,
Yes, ma'am.
I guess I would like to see some of them because Mr. Schwarzkopf had said something in our last meeting about working with them on some kinds of advertising and getting some kinds of things out, or are they already complete?
The Talking Trash advertising campaign is pretty much complete. As it turns out, one of the components that the station that received the bid, did include recycling tips, as it turns out. But that being said, we're looking at another avenue to promote recycling tips on a regular basis on air.
I think,
That was one of the things. I think this bag is absolutely fantastic. In fact, that's one of the things that I had mentioned in my long-range plan here. So I want to say, you know, great minds travel the same direction. Some just get there quicker than others, so congratulations on getting there quick. What I'd like to do right now is suggest that you get together with Channel 15, and at noon they've got Cecil and whatever else, and they're always looking for segments to get on, and I think if Vicki and Kendra or yourself, whatever else, would get on there and explain the bag and the handle upside down, I think would get to a lot of people.
Yes, sir. We'll
so
definitely
they're-
look into that.
Yes.
we have another idea on how we can get more information out. And I will let you know next meeting what we decided on that, and I think, what excited me about that proposal was the fact that the ladies can take a picture on their smartphone, send it to them, and they can put it on one of the spots, and they talk, how many times a week,
That program will run 5 times a day, every day of the week. We have a total of about 200 spots in a month.
Great. So I think that will be kind of a start on what we need, and then we can use these other ones. It may not be Cecil, but I think, I'm kind of excited about this one, and I went and heard the presentation, and then the ladies went, and I think they were somewhat impressed also about, how they can get information in front, like talking trash. They can take a picture of the recipient of that, send it to them, and it could be on an aisle. So it's,
But I think that's good because of social media, Facebook and all that other stuff is where people pick up nuts.
I'd love to share some of our drone imagery
Yeah,
too.
yeah, so that's good. I just wanted to make sure that we were looking at trying to get out all the money, so that we can get more people involved, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And sound like you're on that path, so good, thanks, Dan.
Good.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Finance, Ms. Billings?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Financial reports begin on page 20. We're going to start on page 21 on the summary sheet. This is the first month of our new year.
That's why the numbers are so low.
Yeah, exactly. That's hard to say. We'll see them go up hopefully throughout the year. Just to start off, as you can see, that we're already seeing an increase in our tipping fees over last year at a 2.5% increase, which is great. We should be through about an 8%, a little over 8% of budget. And as you can see, our solid waste is at 11.53% of budget. Our mixed construction is right on at the 8.22%. And our yard waste is just slightly below at 7.71% of budget. Recyclable sales, as you can see, are currently running just slightly below budget at 7.89% of budget, which is great. We're glad to kind of see that happening so far this year. As you can see, our C&D processing facility, year to date so far, for the first month, has saved 5.79 days of landfill airspace. And our materials recycling facility with the collection of hauling has saved 7.89 days of landfill airspace. And with the store being 0.0038. I want to give you an update I didn't have for you last month where we ended up at the end of the year. And our C&D processing facility saved overall year-to-date 60.6 days of landfill airspace. Our MRF with the collection and hauling had 84.94 days of landfill airspace. And the store had 0.0149, which made it a total of 145.55 days of landfill airspace, which is about a half a year when you look at what we're open and operating. So definitely a good thing we've got those programs going. They're doing exactly what we intend for them to do. Over on page 23, the income statement, as you can see, our revenue is at 9.28% of budget. which is great. We're already starting out the year running ahead of budget. And as you can see, the expenses are at 6.72%. Of course, July is always, our lowest month, but that's all right. Like I said, we're starting off exactly where we need to be, keeping expenses below budget. Year to date, or even month to date, as you can see, we had revenue over expenses of $645,690.01. Just going to point out over on page 27. Just want to kind of take a look at kind of where we are on our tonnages. As you can see, solid waste, we're seeing an increase over last year, 1.38% increase. Mixed construction is up 6.63% over last year, and our yard waste is down at the 25.79%. I'm sure we'll continue to see that go up as it gets a little bit cooler out. I'm sure being outside right now is kind of difficult. Last thing I want to kind of point out with the financial reports is on page 31, which is our C&D recycling facility. I'm sure Mike will probably get into this a little bit more, but as you can see, they processed 1,557.99 tons this month, which is tremendous. Last year, at the same time, they had done 982.74 tons. So they're doing a great job of diverting as much material as they can over to that facility. I also left on your places the capital improvement program for FY19, kind of where we had ended up, and I apologize for not getting this out to you sooner. I know Mr. Eyes had asked kind of for an update, and so I just want to give this to you to show you exactly what we ended up purchasing this year, what we actually paid for. As you can see, we did have just 2 items that went over budget with our microphone system, and then of course with our air conditioning unit. The air conditioning unit, part of that was because we did buy a warranty with that as well. But as you can see, the items that we did purchase were either at budget or below. The majority of them were. Staff does a great job of looking at these items and trying to get the lowest price possible for the best piece of equipment. We have a lot of items that staff goes through, and like I said, even though they're in there and the money might be available, if it's not necessary, they don't purchase the items. So as you can see, we have a lot of things that would carry over to the next year, which is great. Like I said, that means that staff is really watching the equipment and using it where needed, purchasing it as needed. So anyway, this just gives you a summary kind of where we ended up. Just one final note, like I said, we do have our audit starting. It will be here September 3rd to get started on our audit. We've got a workers' comp auditor that'll be here next week. So busy time, a lot of things going on, so we'll look forward to giving you an update on how those go as well. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Operations? Mike?
Welcome back.
Glad to see you here, Mike.
First of all, I want to thank the staff and all SWA staff in total, and people in my department that stepped up and took control of everything while I was gone. Stephanie did an excellent job, and Wayne and the rest of them. It really meant a lot to come back and see that things were just clicking right along. It tells you what kind of staff you got. So they did an excellent job in doing that.
Could you thank Susie?
Yeah, well, Susie's always keeping everybody straight. She can get
Everyone's
everything
an
done.
order.
There's some pictures on here. Okay, well, hold on, back up. So on page 36, your book shows you the waste characterization study. As y'all aware that we did the waste characterization study in we do it in 2 parts. Last time we did it in June, this time we did it in July. And then we'll do one in the wintertime. Then we'll compare the 2 things together. And then HCR will come in here and explain why, the pros and cons of it. One thing I did see in the first thing is that there was less paper in the waste stream this time. That's good. And the first one, when I was looking over the numbers, there was less paper, which amazed me that it was even as much as there was last time, because paper seems to be going away as it goes forward. And that's just pictures of them actually sorting it. What they would do is bring a load in, go out and pick a portion of it out, set it out, whether it be a residential, commercial, tourism-based waste stream, like coming from the beach, from the hotels and stuff at the beach, and they'd pick it out and then go through it. All right, scale house, we remodeling the scale house. We've got it lifted, go ahead, just a couple more. And you can see, as we go through it, that's just one of the concrete pads, there's actually 4 total. I think there's 1 or 2 more, there you go. So this is where you see the Traco, set our excavator at, we go past, that'll be the bypass lane, and then there'll be another scale in between those 2 areas. So, we're hoping to have this completed by mid-September. But it is moving along. Currently, they finished the siding on the building. We put the metal roof on. Of course, we raised it 8 inches because before the scales were below ground, now they're above ground. So, all those things is going along well. All right, back up to the CMU video. So, here's our video of the CMU factory. We just wanted to give y'all an update on it. So Chris decided to do a department a month rather than trying to do all of it at one time. So you can see we're still processing material here and doing it. These guys are doing an excellent job. You know, at one time they were doing less than 1,000 tons. We've made some changes and some things to the process a little bit. And they do it almost 1,500 tons, and they're still recycling 70 to 80% of it, even though with the increase. And they love these fans. You see them blowing that mist, they're good hot air out there. That's their cooling fans, so they like those. We did that last year, and they continue to work. So it'll drop at about 10 degrees in there. And you can see them putting the wood on the conveyor belt. It'll go out, and it'll go over the building, we'll go over and look at the grinder and stuff. We sell almost 600, I think last month we sold 646 tons of boiler fuel out of wood chips alone. And then you talk about what we color and sell as well. We do another 50 to 60 tons a month doing that.
Who is the primary purchaser of the wood chips?
Sorry?
Who's the primary purchaser for the wood chips?
We sell them to an individual, Holmes Trucking, and then they take them to Florence.
There's no market for pallets?
Very good. We get as many of them out of as we can. At one time, we tried to sell them directly to the boiler, the place ourselves, and found out our insurance company, the state insurance, won't cover. They want to be, so that when you go into a place, they want to be an additional insured, and the state won't do that. So we have to go through a third party to sell. That's it there. Let's go to the mark. Well, let's talk about the MRF a little bit. It's on page 39. So the MRF update, we did about, so you can see a big drop in the line as we did. Our rejects coming out of the MRF was running about 15%. In Horry County, we had from July of 18 to July of 19, we had about 3.3% increase of material going into the plant. And that's with taking Charleston out of it. Now that's just Horry, so we got about a 3% increase from July of 18 to July of 19 of material going into the MRF. Our pricing, which is on page 40, is pretty stagnant. It has not changed very little. There has been some uptick for the month of August, but had something happen this month that we had not had before. As you see on page 41, you can see the prices from 18 to 19. So for cardboard was 103, we dropped to $39. This month it went back up to 64 for August. Paper's been pretty consistent around $75 a ton. Newspaper. And August paper's about $100, went from $240 to $100, and it is back up to about 128 for in the month of August. But for the first time since I can remember, we were not able to sell PET plastic this month. Nobody bid on it. So we had to store it. The person, Unified, which typically buys it, told us that their mill was down and that they wouldn't, they had more than enough in stock to hold them over. So, of course, we haven't moved that stuff inside because we have not found a buyer for it. And we currently have 2 loads of that material. And you're talking somewhere around $300 a ton is what we sell that stuff for. So we're storing it. Any questions on that?
I just have one, I guess. I think a lot of times I'll send you or Esther some articles I read in the waste industry magazines. And one of the ones that I saw an article on was the unrecyclable plastic bottles like the PET, that some group is incorporating that into a material and paving roads with it. Did I send you that?
If you did, I don't remember.
Okay, have you heard anything about
I
that?
have. What you hear a lot of is people making flakes out of it and try to ship it directly overseas. But with the economy, that's what's one of the things that happened with PET is a lot of these companies that buy this stuff turn it into flake and they send it to China. And what's happening is with the tariffs on it, it just ain't going anywhere. It's just sitting here. India did notify the buyers today. We sell a lot of our cardboard to India right now, that they will take at least 5% contamination. And you gotta remember, China was 0.5%. So that makes it a little bit easier to meet the requirements of not having any chargebacks. So we were told today that that's,
But will they pay as much as China if we send it clean to China?
well, we got one person in India that requests our newspaper every month. And that's why we get so much for our newspaper. The going price for a newspaper in the market's about $10 to $20 a ton. And we get about 75. So, but that one buyer in India is requesting it every month. So, but our problem is right now, you gotta remember Charleston's was 59% paper. Horry County's been 30 to 35% paper. Charleston, so it's taken us more than 30 days to generate a booking. And they won't buy it but in bookings. And a booking is 5 loads. So they got to ship it overseas, export it overseas, you gotta have a minimum of 5. And we can't even generate 5 loads in a month. So, and then we have a rainy time period, that makes it even worse. So, it's a fine market. Everybody I talked to met with a buyer last week, and he told me that they didn't see anything changing at all for at least 12 to 18 months.
I've got an article that I'd like to share with all of you. I got it yesterday, and it's really beginning to take hold from a circular standpoint, because a lot of those other countries that were taking recycles from China is now, like Cambodia and some of the other places, are rejecting that. They got more trash than they know what to do. They used to take it because they used to make a living out of it, but now they don't want it anymore. So all of that stuff that China didn't want, that was sending to those companies, those countries are sending it back to us, and so it's making it even more difficult for us to sell anything else to China. So I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. In fact, I'm presuming that it's gonna even get worse than what it was.
Recycler in California shut down
Oh, yeah.
400 sites.
Yeah, and so it's making it even more difficult for us to get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, we had a newspaper come out and do a story on the MRF, and we always get the same question. We always get the same: how much of it are you landfilling? Well, we don't landfill it.
Right.
We either store it recycle or sell. We don't aim to, hope we don't ever have to get to that point. But, you know, like the plastics, the PET plastics is a good example. Is if you set them outside, after a while, the sun will deteriorate. So where it's no longer good, you can't sell them. It's called, you know, the blisters, sun blisters, what it is. So we had to move them inside that building we just built. You gotta get that plastic inside that building because it'll do it. But thank God we got a place to put it. Because it's gonna help out as we move forward.
Are we going to revise our operation to ship it quarterly rather than monthly?
Well, what we're doing in the paper thing, where we have to have so many loads,
Yes.
we're guaranteeing the buyer that buys it, that even if it takes a month and a half to get that 5, we will honor that price for that period. Now, the price may go up the next month, but
You've got it,
We're locked in.
you've got to do it that way.
and I'm considering not even putting it up for bid next month and hold 2 months and then put it up for bid. Cause you gotta have 5 loads, you gotta have 5 loads or they won't take it. All right, Mr. Woods here, Jawan, I guess is the way you pronounce that? With the city of Conway was selected by the guys on the landfill, as driver of the month. Been working with him for about 2 years, they're married, he loves to go fishing. So, don't be
Long
That's it, guys, unless y'all have any questions for me or anything that y'all like to ask me.
Good, thanks.
Thanks.
Glad to see you back, Mike.
Glad to see you back.
Absolutely.
Mr. Knight?
Yes, sir. We have had a request from Moody County Parks and Recreation. And their letter is on page 53. On November 2nd, they're going to have a kind of a bicycle run. And if you pull it up to get my bearings on that side.
Oh, is this your house down here?
Yeah.
This is the berm here. They're gonna come down International Drive, and this is where they park to the state property over there. Come down through county property. When they get here, they come here to hit county property again and go on to the Clear Pond area. And then when they come out, they'll take this dirt road here and come out at the tower or the power lines on International Drive. But they just, they're gonna be using just a small stretch of our road, and that's the dark outline that's at the bottom. It's a county project. They're going to be involved in it. They'll make sure everything's cleaned up and everything. And it would be my recommendation to work with the county. It's not like it's a private deal. It's gonna be a circus or a major situation. It's talking probably 40, 50 participants.
This is an event that can be managed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You need that in motion. I move that we accept the recommendation of the executive director to participate with the county and provide that road access.
Can I get a second? What's that? No second. Properly moved in second. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried.
I want to kind of bring you up to where we are on the Piggyback 3 application. We got a letter dated August the 16th from DHEC that, our permit, our application meets a letter of demonstration of need, and consistent with the county plan, state plan, and everything's okay. There's 15 days prior to it being formal. This 15 days gives anybody an opportunity to ask for a review of the plan to the state DHEC board. They say they're not gonna listen to it, then a person has 30 days to go and, ask for a hearing in front of administrative law court. The way I figured out, it is probably going to be middle of October, 1st of November, before we get through all this process at best. At least we've met the consistency and the plans, and, you know, we've heard that the plan was that it meets state and all that kind of stuff, so apparently it does, and just have to do the stages.
When did we get the letter?
We got it August the 16th, so September the 2nd.
Would be the first
Pretty
15
much
days
gonna be the deadline
for someone to,
ask for a review.
right, okay.
That's where we are on the plan. We'll just to see, Mike and I will be in Columbia DHEC Thursday to sit in on the rewrite of some of the regs on recycling centers and stuff like that, and maybe we can kind of get an update there if anything else. There was 3 contacts made on the piggyback 3, just 3. I figured, could have mustered up more than 3 calls. One was Benny Lotsky, property owner over at Y Wing. Telephone call from Conservation League and Ms. Wood. We'll wait and see what September 2nd brings. That's,
Okay, good. Well, we didn't have any committee reports. Is there any old business we need to listen to? Anybody got anything, or any old business, no old business? No. New business, the only thing I have on new business is roundtable discussion, and the only thing that I have on that is, again, the trip out to Phoenix. We've been talking about this Phoenix trip since last year this time. I thought we had put it to bed, but it looked like it's come back up again. What I did was I looked at the trip that we're going on starting next week, which runs about $1,516 per person, and that doesn't include the mileage. So I think most everybody had planned to go to that trip.
5,
I think 5 people all except, I don't think Sam's going. We never heard from you and you're not going. So we got 5 people going there. And then the trip to Phoenix, it's about $3,000 per person. That doesn't include a rental car. So if you adjust it, it's about $3,900 per person to go to Phoenix. One thing you should know about that as well, the hotel is sold out. The closest hotel that they can get is available, but that hotel is having construction done to it. So it's probably gonna be some noise and that kind of stuff. I don't have any problems with it. I'm not going. At one point in time, I said that I was gonna consider it. I don't think I'm going. I don't like to stay away from the convention center. I like to be in the center where it is. And this does include the late fees. We could not get those because we missed the date because we couldn't get those waived. And so the hotel runs about $1,500 per person. So if we send 3 people out there, we're talking close to $10,000. I don't know. We spent a lot of money last year when we went to Nashville and really get a whole lot out of that. But those who, I think Danny you had said that you may want to go. I think Mike, Pam, I think you came back around, said you wanted to go. You were the first one that said you weren't gonna go. I think, and so I think that's why we had all this discussion, said everybody would go to Nashville. Now, I realize that we said we haven't been to any diversion meetings this year, but we have had some diversion because we had it come to us. We did the grinder thing, and that was at no cost.
Well, let me say,
But
the national convention, I think you can pick up a lot there. You can look at diversion processes, you can talk to people.
yeah, I don't have a problem with it. And my preference would be is that staff is because staff can actually know what they're looking for. They can talk to folk, and if they see some things that we really need to do, then we could go and visit that stuff, and we wouldn't have to pay a registration fee.
And they could do the follow-through.
And they can do the follow-through. The problem I have, if I go, I mean, I can come back, but I'm gonna have to go back through the same process. I'm gonna have to give it to Danny, or I'm gonna have to give it to Esther or Mike or somebody and say, well, do you need to look at this? If they look at it, they can come back, make a report to the board and say, well, we saw this out here, we think it's a good thing, we wanna follow through. And then if some of the board members wanna get on a plane and fly to wherever it is, we can go to it.
That would be less than $10,000.
It'd be less than $10,000 because we wouldn't have to pay a registration fee. But if you feel like you just need to go,
Well, if I go and I see something
you gonna
I
bring it back?
thought was snazzy, I'd love a couple of board members to feel snazzy about it too.
Yeah, so,
But
well,
it's
yeah,
the board's call.
you know, so, you know, that's just my take on it. I think we do have the money, so, again, Danny wants to go, I think Mike wants to go, you still wanna go, head at it. I'm not gonna go, I've got too many things going on at that time, and like I said, I don't feel like,
I do like the thing of sending the staff,
That would be, that's,
you know,
to
that, I feel like, I'll just be honest with you, I felt like I wasted my time and money when I went to Nashville. I really do. I mean, I may have seen one thing, but I do feel like, I like what Mike did when he and you went to these companies and saw, and you had an opportunity to look at what you want to do and change your mind. I also like the fact that if we need somebody at the national conference. So I would prefer, if we're gonna spend the money, to send Danny or Mike or whoever wants to go, from the staff, that could bring it back. And I don't, you know, if a board member wants to go, that's fine. But I rely on your expertise that you're gonna bring something back that we would have an interest in. I don't think you're gonna just go pick some cherry around the thing and bring it back and say this. You're gonna look at it, bring it back, we can look at it, and then if we wanna follow up, we can do that. So that's my recommendation.
with it being that much money.
Well, it's a lot of money.
Danny, and you know more about equipment, which is all gonna be there.
And that
I
was,
would rather see the
that was
two of them
gonna
go
be my other
or
suggestion,
whatever
because
and bring
if we
that
send
back.
Mike Campbell there, we don't have to worry. We're gonna know. I mean,
right.
we're gonna know who was there.
We're
We're
gonna have a.
gonna know the grandkids, we're gonna know everything that is need to know. So
They
he,
don't know we've been there.
they don't know we've been there. I mean, cause he gonna work the show.
The only thing I think that Mike goes, we ought to give him a blazer or a t-shirt or sweatshirt with solid waste on the front
Oh,
side.
you ain't gotta worry about
You
that.
got it.
You ain't got to, he got his shirt on right here. He wore that shirt to remind me that he needed to go to the national
But
conference.
I would rather, if they wanted to go, or the staff, you and Danny wanted to go, if you need a board member, to do that and save my $30-some $100 to go and look at something as the diversion committee when you find it.
But I think that would be, but I do think we need some representation there.
Yeah, I do too.
And
It's
so,
national, and
my thing would be to send these two guys. Because Daddy can keep this guy in control if he can find him.
Here you get fired.
You put a lot of faith.
yeah, all right.
I said if you can find him.
But you know, you're right about that, sending the staff. Because after that, if we send the staff goes out and takes a look. If there's, something that needs to be taken a look at, we can send the rediversion committee out and take a look at it. So I would, go
Take your
along with.
bananas and no banana trees.
Yeah, no banana.
Well,
But I
my thing
think-
is,
I
I can't go, but I do think that we need to have some representation. And a board member along with Danny, I think would be good, you know, not that I want to leave Danny out of Phoenix by himself.
And I
but-
don't have to say.
But I think, you know, because you have made an interest, and I would go, but I got two things and they're gonna bump, and I can't make it. So,
We'll take a look at it.
if you
Yeah,
want,
take a look.
take a look at it, and
Yeah,
if
take
you
a
will to
look at it,
go.
but I'm in favor of sending the staff, because these folks are, we're looking for something new and what's coming along, and if they run across something, they come back and we can take the rediversion committee and go
Well,
look
that was
at
my
it.
thing, I just wanna let you know what the funds look like,
Yeah.
what it would cost. It's a lot of money, so I wanna make sure if I'm spending $10,000, we're gonna get $10,000 worth of whatever we're gonna get. But I do think it's worth, a portion of that to have representation there, because we've always had representation there, and I don't wanna miss that. I don't wanna miss that connection and that communication. So I would like for someone to go, someone from staff and maybe a board member that you or a couple of staff members go.
Well,
And I'll let y'all work that out.
Right, well, I'm in favor of sending, the staff
Yeah.
members, yeah.
So, we'll go from there,
Yeah.
you know. But the money is there, and then we're all gonna meet, I think some of you going up on Monday, I'm going on Monday. I think there's a tour planned for us, so on Tuesday, so we'll take that tour. And, I'll see you up in Asheville. You know, they had an earthquake up in there.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last week, so I said, that's fine.
So,
I would like to, the board to consider this. I like your numbers, I like the way you're thinking and the work you've done, but if those of us that are not going to these conventions and we've saved Solid Waste Authority about $6,000, I don't think a 10% appreciation fee would be, we'd be out of line.
Yeah, you do get the staff bonus.
We'll put that on the new business next time.
Financial department to look at, committee.
We'll get Jan and we'll Jan and everybody involved, we'll put that on, we'll have to, you can't throw that one right on me, so you throw your stick that one through, that wasn't on the agenda.
Join the bike ride.
You gotta make sure that's on the agenda, you called on it.
Thank you.
well,
Since we're in new business, I guess it's something new, but I just thought about that. You know, we did vote not to let anybody be on our property, so this isn't gonna,
This is manageable.
this,
Well, I pulled that resolution.
is that okay with
Yeah,
what resolution?
because rereading the resolution, you can actually say the resolution is aimed more at private
Okay,
situation.
okay.
And this is manageable, and if they were gonna have a rodeo out there with thousands of people, I think it'd be different, but these small recreation things, no overnight, no people would be able to get lost, and that type stuff. And it's a county activity, and they got all that adjoining property, and I think it's only right to cooperate with them.
Yeah, I don't have any problem doing that. It just hit me that we had done that.
Well, I think one of
resolution.
the reasons we did that is because those people were there and we didn't know they were there.
yeah.
We used to have a lot of people out there that we were unaware that was out there, and we knew that we had a problem because if something happened to them, we knew where it was. But in this case, we know it's manageable and we know what's coming, so we know that who's gonna be there and when they're gonna be there.
And I'd hate to get the firm that if we did invite a tarp party here on the property, that we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Or, people coming out to look at the eagles. And
Yeah,
I think if it's manageable, we need to do it, and I think people appreciate the opportunity to be able to come out and do that type of thing.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to remind everyone that the art gallery series is still going.
Right.
There are 3 more presentations. Tomorrow is one is centered on straws. And one we had the week before last, you were there.
Right.
There was a photographer who asked for permission to come on the site and go through the MRF. And it was interesting to see his presentation that he had recorded and then recorded on his, with his photography, with his camera. That was neat.
Yeah. Well, I think they're good. I'll be there tomorrow.
Spin-offs.
And we get a lot of questions. And it's good. They really rely on solid waste being there, so they ask a lot of questions. One lady was asking about how do you get rid of your garbage and when they take it to the recycling center. I said, well, what I like to tell people is ask the agents, and they'll tell you where to put it on at the recycling center. You know, because I don't know what she's gonna be having out there, so it's best. I got stopped in Conway. A guy came to me and he was like saying that he had taken a bunch of stuff out on 701 and the man wouldn't let him dump it because he asked him where he lived and he said, well, he lived in Conway. And I said, well, let me check. But I think if you live in Conway, you're supposed to have Conway pick that up. So I did call Esther and she said, absolutely correct. And I said, well, he said, well, I took it to somewhere else. And I said, well, let me tell Esther that people somewhere else are not doing their job, because if you're a Conway resident, you need to have Conway pick it up. I mean, he wasn't upset, but he was just, because he had did it somewhere else, he thought he could do it out in 701. So we get a lot of questions. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know. When I don't know, I'll call Danny, I'll call somebody, or I'll direct them to that. But when they go to these recycling centers, if they'll ask these folk where to put stuff, they pretty much will tell you where it should go. And that's what I told the lady, just ask, they'll tell you,
Yeah.
you know. But,
I've had a lot of questions from people that live in the city.
oh, yeah.
And they have a city garbage. We don't do that. They bring it to us. But we can't tell them in the city how they would.
I know, well, if he wants to, he can bring it out here, but if he calls the city, they'll come pick it up. Just put it out there and I said, just stick it out there in front of your house and give them a call. They'll come pick it up.
He can take it to the gate.
Yeah, I said, you can take it
He
to the
can
gate.
take
I
it.
think that's what he was saying.
Tipping fee.
One guy called me, he says, look, I got a big boat. How can I get rid of it? I said, well, we got plenty of room. Just drive through the scale.
Did you tell him about the cost? Did you?
I said, they'll tell you what it costs when you get to the scale. I can't tell you that, because I don't know how much you weigh. But I guess it's still sitting in his yard. You didn't decide. You probably dismantled it and stored it along the highway somewhere.
The people at the centers have probably got the worst job in the county.
Yeah.
You got private contractors, and the center operators soon learn who the people are, and then know their names by first names, and a lot of people don't want to take the garbage out to start with, and if they take it out, they don't be told what to do with it. And it's through hot weather, cold weather, snow and rain. I mean, they've got a terrible job, but they do it well.
Yeah, they have a very
And
good
they-
attitude, and I come here, but some of these people that bring the stuff in here, they're just off their rockers. They are really. I mean, they just get bent out of shape about anything. They just want to throw it down in the middle of the thing. If you park,
Yeah.
you better be careful, because they'll run over you. If they can't get right up to the bend, they are raising sand, and the ladies will look at them like, well, just give the people time to move out of the way. And, you know, but I don't know, maybe the wife made them bring the trash, or the husband or something like that. But anyway, they'll get over it. I don't have anything else. Any more round table? Did everybody get to see Bo in the video that they took?
I just sent to you.
Oh, just send it to me, but we'll have to disseminate that, because Bo.
And Esther has a copy.
I'd like Bo to share with us what he learned at I couldn't get to the last museum thing and I was fairly impressed with Lee's credentials. And I was just wondering if the presentation was same as her credentials in the book she wrote.
It was an excellent presentation. It's, It's gonna be interesting to get to the end of the series where the focus is gonna be on what do we do now with what we know. And that's gonna be interesting, because that's gonna be an interesting topic for discussion, and we should be involved in that. But each of the presentations have been on a different element of the problem, and it's been terrific to participate in each of them.
Yeah, I thought her thing was moving away from using plastics.
Okay.
Trying to get people to use other storage means like glass or metal or something that's reusable. And I think that's gonna be the big thing, is to stop creating so much plastic.
But
That's
she
gonna
found a
be-
way to bind her book without
Yeah.
polymers. I mean,
Yeah,
she went
right,
full.
yeah.
Okay.
So, it's just trying to get away from using all this plastics and stuff.
What I've been amazed at is the speakers. They're from all over the United States, and they've been very good. And I'm glad we're able to be there, because the attendants that are there have a lot of questions about what to do, what we do, and it makes me feel good, the ones that's been and know what we do here and how well we do it.
Susan Frankel was the first presenter, and they repeated her episode on 60 Minutes Sunday.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Good, so. But Danny's talking about the people at the convenience centers, whatever else. The person at Jackson Bluff, a couple weeks ago, I pull up and I dump my cardboard, I dump my tin cans, I dump my newspaper, and I put one little bag in the thing, whatever else. She said that I was well organized, this and that, and I said, well, I said, this here was a whole month. She says, boy, you're a real recycler. She says, I'd like to nominate you for the recycling thing of the month. I says, I can't take it. She says, why not? And I said, I'm a board member. She says, you are?
Well, but at least you had a good example.
Yes.
You know, the worst thing I wanna see is catch one of our board members over there throwing up this stuff.
Oh, so she said, I said, I'm sorry, I said, I can't take it. She says, why not? I says, because I'm a board member. She says, a board member of what? And I said, it's not a waste of money.
What?
And she looked at me.
What, yeah.
That's a good one, Carl. You always leave us with a good one. Anything else? No, we don't need an executive session, so I don't have anything else. Anybody got anything else?
Oh, I don't either.
Well, if that's it, I will call for an adjournment.
So moved.
Congratulate Steve.
Yeah, stand up and think about. Yeah. You got anything you wanna tell us?
Are you still gonna be coming? Yay.
Good. All right.
Yeah, we like that.